Well, if anything ever happens right, then we're excited about it, ain't we? However, get them glare out of my glasses. Um, I just called that guy down there in San Antonio, that vape shop guy. I think a lot of you know him. That's my grandson, one of them. I said, Brian, I can't find how to get on live on TikTok. And I woke him up. Anyway, he mumbled a little bit. I said, what? And he goes, you got to have 1,000 followers. I said, gee, Mo Friday. Well, I said, yeah. We're just starting. How are we going to get 1,000 followers? He said, you could do, you could do. And I said, I know, but I've been advertising we're going live at noon Central Time today. We're not live. So I'll get this out to y'all. Let me turn this down a little bit. What I wanted to do today is to let you know where divine angels came from and where we're going. And this is where y'all can help. I've got a new friend in South Chicago, or south of Chicago, and he's 47 years old. And he's got a past, and now he feels like he's at a dead end. He's not, he's just beginning. A few minutes about myself, and then I'll try to think of some things that y'all might be thinking about. You know, I want you to understand that there isn't anything that you've done in your past or you're doing right now that can't be fixed or forgiven. And on the other side, all the good things you've done in your past that is probably getting covered up from the other stuff that you've done. Well, yeah, we need to focus on that. So if I go back to when I was 2 years old, it was a long time ago, and when I go back to when I was 2 years old, I had spinal meningitis. And in 1955, babies didn't live with spinal meningitis. So all my life I've heard, you know, God's keeping you around for a reason. God's got something in store for you. Boy, did he. But what it took was, I don't know, 25 years of living in darkness, out there chasing drugs and whatever else came along with them. That lifestyle of... But anyway, all along this time period of 25, I messed things up really bad. Should have gone and played college baseball somewhere. I was too little to play football, even though I was a linebacker. If the coach said hit that brick wall, I hit that brick wall, and I hit it hard. But in baseball, my senior year, I had a .487 batting average. Got invited down to a nice school here in Oklahoma. I didn't take their offer because you couldn't smoke cigarettes on campus. I was pretty redneck. So I think that was really my first screw up. So I go to school, and one semester have a first semester have a 1.87 grade point average, and the dadgum school, the college, sent me this letter and put me on academic probation. I showed them I quit. went to work for the FBI in 1972. 50, so I was 19 years old. Within just a short time, I was promoted to an assistant manager in the administrative division in Washington, D.C. In fact, I was in the old post office, which Mr. Trump refurbished, and I understand is real nice. So at the age of 21, when I left there as an assistant supervisor to move back to Oklahoma, went to work for a finance company. It wasn't just a few months of being there. Got promoted from, collection manager to assistant manager. And after being with them 2 years, they made me mad, so I quit. Went and turned my chopper upside down on a turnpike at about 65 miles an hour. Spent 3 days in hospital. Got out when my jaws were wired shut, and the only thing I had to eat was through a straw. Had a big overbite back then. Did you ever eat Thanksgiving dinner all grounded up in a blender through a straw? Oh, my lands, it tasted good. So I was trying to run. You know, they say that addicts will move and geographically try to get clean. So I joined the Air Force, United States Air Force. Went down to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, where that vape shop guy is. He asked me if I was coming down. I said, I don't think they'll let me back in that town, too close to the Air Force Base. So I was a couple years older than most of the, what they call it, rainbows or green beanies or something, because, green fatigues and you couldn't iron them. She looked kind of sloppy. But after basic training, I took my training right there at Lackland for security police. Well, I became the blue rope. I became the student commander of all of the other, about 80, all the other 80 guys and gals that was in there learning how to be security police with the United States Air Force. It's a great calling. I really went in with the idea to retire from the United States Air Force. Being the blue rope student commander, I got a letter of recommendation from the commander of Lackland Air Force Base introducing me to where I was going. And that was to United States Air Force headquarters in Europe, Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. Carded my letter or introduction over there, and all hell broke loose. I had a mentality that now that I was under the UCMJ, that nobody back in the real world, we called it, would ever hear of anything I ever did or whatever. So anyway, I ended up spending about 6.5 weeks in the hospital, 10 days in a coma, got my head kicked in, using drugs all that time, guarding nuclear weapons for the United States Air Force, guarding 70,000 people that were on that base. After 18 months and 12 days, they gave me an honorable discharge. That's what I'm really having trouble dealing with right now. It's been bugging me ever since. I didn't discharge honorably. The reg said back then that if the Air Force could not rehabilitate you, they had to give you an honorable discharge. So my lawyer told me. I said, well, how do I prove they can't rehabilitate me? He said, just keep doing drugs. He said, about every other day, they're going to call you over for a piss test. He said, you need to turn in some positive ones. Well, I did turn in 11 positive. That's when I ended up in the hospital. It was 6.5 weeks. Got out. A few days later, I was on a plane back through Ireland and back to the States. 18 months and 12 days, honorable discharge, full benefits. That wasn't the agreement that I made with the Air Force. I told them I'd be there 4 years, didn't I? and that I would protect my country. I didn't turn my back. Just kept focused at me. So I come back to the States in 1978, ready to overthrow the government and sell drugs the rest of my life. I got invited to an Amway meeting. And still on drugs, but I thought, an entrepreneur, I think I can do that, have my own business. Good people, listening to all this good stuff in cassette tape. I don't think 8-tracks are around still. Cassette tapes we listened to. And then a thing called a CD or something came out. But put all this positive stuff in my head. Shook it off, though. I stayed out there in a dark world. But I worked for myself in the insurance industry then. Started in 1979. Life insurance, annuities, and financial services. Out to western Oklahoma in the 80s, during the oil boom, we were rocking and rolling. In today's dollars, making $250,000, $300,000 a year, working 4 evenings a week and playing golf 5 days a week. Took a lot of cocaine to be able to keep up with that lifestyle. So I did that. And then a friend of mine that I partied with back in Tulsa, he taught me how to smoke cocaine. And I say he's a friend because Larry is a friend. If he hadn't taught me to smoke it, where 14 months later, I hit a bottom I'd never even dreamed of. I knew it was time. I knew it was time to get clean. And the way I knew it was time is I was helping my first grade daughter. I have 3 daughters. Wonderful, smart. They saw what I did and went the other direction. But I was helping her put her shoes on one morning, Monday morning. A week before, she'd been bringing crayon drawings home of don't take other people's medicines, don't take candy from strangers, don't talk to strangers, all that good stuff of crayon drawings. So that Monday morning, I was helping her put her tennis shoes on. They were dirty and holy, and I wasn't going to waste no money on tennis shoes. Not when I could buy a rock or two. So I'm putting her shoes on, and she looks up at me, and she says, "Daddy, I know you and Mom don't do drugs." And I said, "How come you said that?" She goes, "You're too smart, and you've got kids." That was April 25th, 1994. Over 26 years ago. I went to Mom, said, "Mom, I need some help. I'm addicted to drugs, and I need to take care of my 2 girls at the time." She said, "Get in here." We knew something was wrong. See, Mom had been praying for me for 25 years. I was 5'9", weighed about 130 pounds. I weigh about 170 now. I'm looking pretty good, but anyway, so April 25th, 1994. I'll never forget it. So went to treatment. Had to go to detox and hang out with them alcoholics and heroin users, because those guys really do detox. Now, cocaine user, most of it's all right up there. So after 3 days, they moved me to treatment from detox. Supposed to be there 30 days. After 28 days, show you what kind of salesman I am, I sold them on the idea that I'd learned enough. I was studied up so much I knew I would never go back to that lifestyle of chemicals. Cocaine, heroin, mescaline, LSD, whatever else I could stick in my nose. I was afraid of needles. Unless a medic was taking care of me. But, so I sold the guys at the treatment center that I was ready to go home 2 days early because I wanted to spend Memorial Weekend with Mom and Dad. I stole a lot of money from them. Mainly Mom. Tens of thousands. It's a lifestyle that's just, well, y'all know. A lot of you know. A lot of you know from experience, and a lot of you know from your friends, your family members. I used to party with an older brother. I used to party with a younger brother. Haven't heard from the younger one 2 or 3 years. And we were tight. My older brother was my mentor in the insurance industry. I get to talk to him every now and then, but so I get out, and I knew I had to change. I knew I had to change who the people I was hanging around. I couldn't go back to that environment. It's amazing. I got me a job helping my brother-in-law deliver some parts. He's got a mechanic shop, and he said, "Hey, I need you to go 3 places and pick up some parts." And he said, "The best way to go is down this way, and this way, and this way. Come on back up." I said, "Okay." Well, you know me. Yeah, us drug addicts are. We don't listen to nobody, right? So I went the other way. Very first place I stopped, Riverside Nissan, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Who'd I see? As soon as I got out of the pickup, who'd I see? Larry. Taught me how to smoke cocaine. And then he got to share with him for a couple minutes. He didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Nothing. So he walked on, and I did. But, you know, that thing about God keeping me alive for a reason, I think one was to talk to Larry. I think Larry's back in Tulsa now, doing good. Got some kids, and he's a little bit younger than me. Then I got an opportunity to run a car dealership. And you know, when we're doing drugs, there's a reason we're doing drugs, ain't there? We're not happy with ourselves. We're not happy with what we're doing. And doctors say I've got this stuff in my eyes, and so I wear sunglasses quite a bit, but can you see how beat up my head is? That old boy put me in there 6.5 weeks. He knocked that tar out of me. Those nurses said that my head was so swelled up there wasn't any contour to it. And something else you hear, and I apologize for it, my sniffles. Sinuses are supposed to end about right here. Mine end about right here. Just putting all that stuff up in there for 25 years. Ran that car dealership 8 years. And you know how car dealers, car dealers will tell you, they'll promise you the moon, and if you do this and this and this, then we'll have to get you on the store. I said, "Scott, I'll do that." So I moved the dealership from so many units up to over 100, very consistently, year after year after year. And then one Saturday he said, "Hook, I'm going to make a change." And I said, anyway, lost my house, 4-bedroom house on 3 acres, fenced, married, kids running around. I was making over, $120,000 a year, and didn't have to own any vehicles or pay for any car insurance or anything like that, because I had 2 demos, one for me and one for my wife at the time. Excuse me. Rattling on. Anyway, I just kept screwing up even when I was straight. Got back in the insurance business, though, where I was working for myself, not for somebody else. And I got to meet a lot of people and share my story with a lot of people. I have some friends, some have gone on now, that I met in the insurance industry that never sold a policy to. But they became my best friends, mentors, and so forth, that helped me. And that's what we want to do here at Divine Angels. We want to help you.